We've just passed the 100-day mark of Keir Starmer's Labour Party being in power, and I thought it would be a good time to see what we think of how they performed. The obvious place to start is Keir Starmer's war with Heartland Britain. What I'm talking to here is his response to the awful Southport stabbings. I've spoken on this channel before about how the government and large swathes of the mainstream media are in cahoots with regards to the narrative here. You may notice it's been led away from the stabbing of many children and the murder of 3 by a second-generation migrant to it being an issue of far-right riots. I will re-emphasise this point again. The riots were bad and were not a good idea. However, they pale in comparison to the murder of children. That to me seems quite obvious, yet our liberal establishment doesn't seem to think so. They've done this before, of course, with the Manchester Arena bombing, with the grooming gangs and so on. Then they say that the riot started simply because of some misinformation on Twitter. Now again, I didn't agree with the riots, but to say it was simply because some people posted the wrong name on Twitter is obvious propaganda. And remember, when misinformation comes from the left, that's completely ignored by our mainstream, and for some reason that doesn't cause riots. The reality is that many people up and down the country, especially those in working class communities who the Labour Party is supposed to represent, by the way, feel completely ignored, and on top of that, they're tired of seeing children be attacked. Now, you can say that rioting isn't the right response to that, and fair enough. However, you can't ignore that this has been part of the context of what's gone on. But that Labour leader Keir Starmer seems to ignore this shows his true character. He seems to be a robotic ideologue who lacks empathy with British people and their genuine concerns, while being very at home with the bureaucratic management class types of Davos. Another major blunder for Keir Starmer was the scrapping of the winter fuel allowance. That was something of an open goal for a new Labour premiership. After all, Labour's strength is that they're supposed to be on the side of the poorest and the weakest. However, Starmer seemed more than happy to just blame the Tories for that, even though it's his decision, and invest even more money in all sorts of globalist causes, such as their wars around the world and the mad net zero effort. Then we have the issue of the supposedly overcrowded prisons, which led Keir Starmer to letting some prisoners out early so he could restock them with people sending edgy tweets. Now that decision was made all the more bizarre when we got some research from the Telegraph stating what we all already knew anyway, and that's essentially that our jails are full of foreigners. I mean, if all these people have done is come here and commit crimes, why aren't we kicking them out? What on earth are they doing here? Now, I'm no supporter of the Tory party. I think we all know they sold out the people. However, it does get tiring when Keir Starmer keeps blaming them for absolutely everything. As with any walk of life, if all you do is blame other people when you face challenges in life, it makes you look like you lack a vision and fail to take personal responsibility. And none of that's helped by Keir Starmer's robotic, charmless appearance. Further to that, we had the really weird story around Lord Ali. From what I understand, Keir Starmer's wife was getting tens of thousands of pounds of gifts from him, exactly the sort of thing that he criticised the Tories for. And then came the even weirder story, which isn't confirmed, but how could I say?
Is it a queer? Well, it certainly looks like a queer, doesn't it?
Oh, it looks like a queer.
And I've heard him on the wireless, and it sounds like a queer.
Oh, it sounds like a queer and it looks like a queer.
But if it sounds like a queer and looks like a queer, I should think it's probably a queer.
Probably is a queer if he looks like a queer and he sounds like a queer. Probably a queer.
But gay or not, it seems to me that we're ruled by a party who are detached from the heart and soul of Britain. And this begs the question, if they only represent the metropolitan detached few, how did they get into power? Well, we're told that it was a landslide because Labour are just so popular with the public, but we all know that isn't really the case. What happened was a collapse of the right-wing vote because of the betrayal of the Tories and it being split by Reform. Yet Starmer and his ilk don't seem to recognise this. I think they think they're ruling on popular demand, but in reality they're just an also-ran who fundamentally got lucky. They're going to find out though that the kickback is growing and growing, and I think that kickback has to be bigger than Reform and the Tory party. It has to come from the grassroots. So in essence, while we're going through some ugly and chaotic times, you can see that an energy is being galvanised for something which is going to come back on the counter pole. These are just my thoughts, however. Do let me know what you think about Keir Starmer and the Labour Party's first 100 days, and do consider subscribing to the channel.